Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Bandai movie monster series, Destroyah. Now, Destroyah comes from the 1995 film Godzilla vs. Destroyah, which, in my opinion, is the best Heisei movie. That's just me, though. And Destroyah as a monster, I think, is a pretty genius idea. A monster created from the same weapon that killed the original Godzilla is honestly a great idea, and I'm kind of glad they went with that, but yeah. Anyway, Destroyah, he's not my favorite kaiju in the Godzilla franchise. He's definitely, I'd say he's like in my top 10s, but I still like Destroyah a lot, but yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get into this review. So, starting off with the paint, we can see that most of the figure is a dark red color, which is what you would expect from Destroyah. Taking a look at the head here, we can see that the teeth and tusks are painted this bonish white color. However, unfortunately, with the tusks, they are pretty lazy, because they're painted on the outside, but not on the insides, which is a bit of a shame. The eyes and horn is a nice shade of red. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the head right there. We have more airbrushing right here for the chest, which looks a little lazy, I'm not gonna lie. Usually airbrush, I really like how airbrushing looks most of the time, but to me, here, it just looks a little lazy, but yeah. Anyway, the claws are painted a bonish white, but they are airbrushed on there too, which looks nice. However, they got lazy, and they did not paint the underside of the claws either, which, what were they thinking? Like, they could have easily painted that, but they didn't. And same with this arm. I don't know why they didn't paint the underside of the claws, but whatever, I guess. But yeah, anyway, the toe claws and knee spikes are painted the same color. And again, they didn't really paint the undersides of the toe claws and knee spikes, which is a shame, but again, it's whatever. The wings are a reddish color. The insides anyway, and then the outer side is just the same color as the rest of the body. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the paint on this figure. It's very cheap. The paint on this figure is very cheap. It looks nice, but they skipped out on a lot of places on this figure, so yeah. The paint on this figure, I'd say, gets a pass and a half. So yeah. Anyway, now we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is below average for a Bandai movie monster series figure. So basically, the legs can move about this much, and the wings can go upwards this much and downwards this much, which I actually really do like. It kind of looks like he's resting his wings, which does look pretty cool, so I do like that. Unfortunately, that is it for the articulation. No arm articulation, no head articulation, no tail articulation, nothing. That's pretty much it. And yeah, that's below average for a Bandai movie monster series figure, so I'd say that the articulation, again, gets a pass and a half. Now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpt on this figure is really nice. There are some minor things that I don't like, but at the same time, I do understand why they, did that. One reason, the horn is a little bit too blunt. I understand why they made it this blunt, because kids are going to want to play with these, and they don't want kids, like, poking their eyes out, but at the same time, it does look a little weird, so, yeah. The tail looks nice, however, the pincers right here look very small and wimpy. And just as a comparison, here is the Bandai Creations Destroyah, and we can see that the pincers on the tail are much bigger than the one on the movie monster series figure, so yeah. That won't be the last time you'll see the Bandai Creations Destroyah in this video, but yeah. Other than that, I guess the other thing I have to say is that the wings are a little bit too thick, but other than that, the sculpt on this figure is fine. Nothing great or anything like that, but the sculpt still works, so the sculpt gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing, and again, the detail on this figure is kind of weak. So, starting off with the head, we can see all the creases and crevices and all the little spikes, which do look nice. The detailing on the horn right here looks okay. There's barely any detailing on the mouth, and yeah, the teeth are just painted on, so yeah. The detailing on the chest looks very nice, and we have more scaling and more, real, kind of like crab detailing, like, or not really crab, but like, invertebrate detailing, like crab shell or whatever, which looks nice on this figure. Yeah, the detailing on the toe claws and knee spikes look alright as well, and the shins are detailed pretty nicely. The wings are detailed nicely too. We have a lot of creases which do look nice, and again we have more of that invertebrate detailing right here. And the detailing on the back looks really nice. All of the scales and plating and whatnot going down looks really nice. And yeah, the detailing for the pincers here look nice as well. And something that's worth pointing out, the other pair of wings here are just, sculpted onto the figure, wherever on the Bandai Creations Destroyah they are out, and they can actually move too, so yeah. And that's about it for the detailing on this figure. It's not great, but it's not terrible either, so the detailing, I'd say it gets a pass. Again, it's not great or anything, but it's still alright, so yeah, it gets a pass. And at the end of the day, should you get this figure? This is the cheapest Destroyah figure I've ever seen. This figure costs about like 20 bucks on Amazon, which isn't bad for what you're getting. Considering that there are other Destroyah figures that are around $100, I'd say, yeah, it wouldn't hurt if you got this figure, but there are better Destroyah figures out there. If you do have the money, then get the Bandai Creations Destroyah, or if you really have a lot of money, then get the SH Monster Arts Destroyah. I would suggest the special color version, because that paint is a lot more accurate than the original figure, but yeah. And the sizing on this figure is a little disappointing too. Here he is next to Dr. Billy Grant. But here he is next to another figure, the Bandai Creations Burning Godzilla. And this is not accurate at all. Destroyah should be towering over Godzilla, and that's where the Bandai Creations Destroyah, does a much better job. So, yeah. Anyway, at the end of the day, it wouldn't hurt if you got this figure. It's definitely not terrible. But if you do have a lot of money, then I would suggest getting a, the SH Monster Arts Special Color Destroyah. But, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zach out.